Hi everyone, it's Lenore Khoubesserian with the Medicare Authority, and this is 7 questions you need to ask before going on Medicare. So we are on question 5. What's the difference between a Medicare supplement plan and a Medicare Advantage plan? In this video, we're going to learn just that, the difference between the two. Now, you can get a free copy of our 7 questions pamphlet by clicking, or description by clicking the description down below. You can also like, share, and comment. Comments are welcome, and sharing the video helps us get content out to people who need it. If you have specific questions, you can always schedule an appointment with us. The contact information is right here on this screen, or you can again comment below. So let's get to it. Question 5. What's the difference between a Medicare supplement plan and a Medicare Advantage plan? Now, if you didn't already watch our previous videos, Understanding Medicare, you might want to go back and look at those. They're quick videos. Will give you an idea of understanding Medicare. But the thing about Medicare is that we all eventually go on Medicare Part A and B. We're going to do that no matter what, but Medicare itself does not give us enough coverage. So we really only have 2 choices to pass. We're either going to sign up for a Medicare supplement plan, also known as Medigap, secondary wraparound insurance, or we're going to have a Medicare Advantage plan. And again, that's because Medicare itself doesn't give you complete coverage. There's no out-of-pocket maximum. We don't have prescription coverage with A and B. So we want to make sure that we minimize our risk and we manage our expenses by doing one of the 2 options. Again, Medicare Part A is hospital, B is medical. Each of these has their own cost. Part A deductible $1,676 per admittance to a hospital. B has an annual deductible of $257, and then Medicare is going to pay 80% of our bill, and we're going to be responsible for 20%. Now, the 20% again is not capped. So if I have a $100,000 knee or heart surgery and I got to pay 20% of that, that's $20,000. So I don't want to leave myself at risk. I'm going to choose one of 2. I'm going to have A and B with a Medicare supplement or a drug plan, or I have to stay enrolled in my A and B, but I'm going to sign up for a Medicare Advantage Part C. Okay, so let's take a look at comparing the 2. A Medicare supplement plan, as far as the coverage is concerned, it gives us a high level of coverage with the lowest out-of-pocket exposures. We have the ability to see any doctor or hospital that takes Medicare. We do pay a monthly premium for this type of a plan on top of Medicare, but again, it gives us the flexibility to choose, and then we would have to add a Part D drug plan. Medicare Advantage, on the other hand, is typically going to have a low monthly cost on top of Medicare, but higher out-of-pockets. We're going to pay as we go. Usually there's a network of doctors. Not every doctor takes it. Unlike Medicare supplement plans, mostly all doctors take that. There are networks of doctors, and if you have a plan that allows you to go out of network, you typically pay more for those services. Oftentimes in the Medicare Advantage plan, we do have prescription drug coverage, Part D. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about Medicare supplement option, also known as Medigap. We would have to have original Medicare, and we'd add this Medicare supplement to supplement or fill in the gaps, plus a prescription drug plan. Okay, now this chart is pulled directly from the Medicare and You book. It's the online chart. There are basically 10 different options we can choose from as far as Medigap plans. They are standardized, so the plans we typically recommend F, G, N like Nancy, and perhaps a high deductible G, depending upon where you live. Not every plan is offered in every area, but the most popular plan, G like George, N like Nancy. Now, these plans will vary in cost. Typically, a plan G will be more expensive than a plan N because it pretty much covers everything Medicare doesn't pick up except for the Medicare B deductible. The plan N is very similar to that, but there is a copay of $20 for an office visit and $50 for an emergency room visit with plan N, and we don't have any coverage for what's called a Part B, like boy excess charge. So the way these plans would work is that when you go to the doctor, you're going to give them your Medicare card and your Medigap or supplement plan card. The bill will go directly to Medicare, and then it would go to the Medigap plan. Now, different insurance companies offer both Plan G, Plan N, private insurance companies, people that are soliciting you. We're contracted with mostly all those companies, will offer you a G. So you can buy a G plan from Blue Cross, United Healthcare, Aetna, Cigna, Humana. They're all selling Plan G. They're all selling Plan N. The coverage is exactly the same, however, regardless of who you buy from, because these types of plans are standardized. So with this kind of a plan, you are paying a monthly premium on top of Medicare to fill in the gaps and have very little out-of-pocket exposure. You're basically, your $100,000 knee surgery, Medicare is going to pay 80% of that, and your G plan is going to pay 20% of that. You simply have the Medicare Part B deductible, which is currently $257 for the year to pay. So your $100,000 surgery only costs you $257 for the year, and that deductible will reset each year. So with this kind of a plan, we have that flexibility to choose anywhere in the United States, and we have a very high level of coverage with very little out-of-pocket exposure. We do have to add a Part D drug plan, so that is important because we don't have drug coverage here. And we have a whole video on Part D drug coverage, but you'll want to definitely add that to this. And you can also add things like dental and vision coverage if you choose it. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at Medicare Advantage. Medicare Advantage is another option. It's also called Medicare Part C, like Charlie. Now, these plans are managed care plans, they're HMOs, they're PPOs. They're very similar to an employer health plan. There are networks of doctors and providers. You must stay enrolled in your Medicare A and B, and you still pay your Part B premium. And if you have IRMA, you're a high-income earner, you will pay the IRMA still. So just because these plans advertise themselves as zero doesn't mean you get out of paying for your Medicare itself. These plans also have copays. So you'll have a copay when you see a doctor, maybe it'd be $5 for your primary, $30 to $40 for a specialist. If you need medical tests, CAT scans, MRIs, blood work, you need to get prior authorizations for things like that, and you will have a copayment for that. But now these plans will cap your out-of-pockets, depends on where you live, how many plans are offered. We've seen from 30 to 80 plans in different markets. So these plans are geographic, they're based on where you live, and they are not portable. So if you have a home in one state and you have a vacation home in another, or you reside in two places, you're buying this plan or you're enrolling in this type of a plan where you actually live. The nice thing about these plans, or we're not allowed to use those superlatives, but the thing about these plans is that you're not paying up front for the premium, but then you pay as you go up to what's called an out-of-pocket maximum, which can be as high as $14,000 this year, can be as low as $6,700 in some markets, maybe a little bit higher in others. okay? If you choose a Medicare Advantage plan, we oftentimes recommend that you add additional coverage for yourself because the hospital copay can be $300 to $400 a day for each day in the hospital. So you can add on an indemnity plan. A hospital indemnity plan, that is. Okay, so Medicare Advantage plans are based on your zip code. There are provider networks of doctors, hospitals, and medications, and they may include extra benefits depending upon your market: dental, cleanings, vision. Some plans include hearing aids, gym membership. Not many will include the transportation. The meal delivery is after being admitted to a hospital. Some plans actually pay a portion of your Medicare B premium, and others will give you a card to buy over-the-counter non-prescription benefits. So those are some of the extra benefits we get with the Medicare Advantage plan. All right, so here we have again a chart summarizing side by side Medicare Supplement versus Medicare Advantage. Again, regardless of which option you choose, and one size doesn't fit all, we want you to choose one or the other. You will have to be enrolled in your Medicare A and B, and you will still continue to pay your Medicare B premium. Now, the cost of the Medicare supplement is added onto what you're paying for Medicare, and you pay that to the insurance company you're buying it from. So that cost can be anywhere from $50 to $200 depending upon where you live. But generally, the cost is limited to what you pay each month in a premium. And when you go see doctors and stuff, you really don't have any copays, very low copays. As far as the Medicare Advantage plan, on the other hand, you're saving up front on the premium, and then you pay as you go up to the out-of-pocket maximum, anywhere from $6,700, could be as high as $14,000. Enrollments, the best time to enroll in a plan is when you're first turning 65 or going on to Medicare. For the Medigap supplement plan, you can buy this plan when you're new to Medicare Part B, no medical questions. If you want to change your plan or buy it down the road, you could be locked out of it based on health. Medicare Advantage plans, on the other hand, you can change every year, you can opt into every year. But if you start out with an Advantage plan and then you have more serious health issues and you want to switch to the Medicare Supplement Gap plan, you may not be able to based on health. So it's important to understand that distinction. The insurance company does not have to say yes to you down the road. Now, some states like New York, Connecticut, we have a guarantee issue. Those are slightly different. And again, if you have specific questions for you, you can set an appointment anytime. The information is linked below, okay? As far as doctors are concerned, now Medicare is a federal program. Mostly all doctors take Medicare across the United States. So with the Medicare supplement plan, we have that flexibility to choose our doctor anywhere in the United States. Whereas with the Medicare Advantage plans, we may not have as much flexibility because not every doctor takes every plan. Where we buy the plan is geographic, so you may not be able to see doctors across the country or out of state. You definitely will need authorizations for certain procedures with the Advantage plan. Not as difficult with the supplement plan because Medicare puts out a schedule of what they cover and what's not covered. So we'll have that a little bit easier time here in the Medicare Supplement Gap plan. We don't need any referrals if we have the Medicare supplement plan. If we have the Advantage plan, we may need those. As far as prescriptions are concerned, if we do Medicare supplement gap plan, we have to add on the Part D drug plan. Typically, the Advantage plan will include that. The extra benefits, people ask me all the time, I want a plan that covers this, this, and this. We don't get that with the Medicare supplement gap plan. We have to buy those on top of that, on top of the gap plan. With the Advantage plan, we can buy additional benefits, but a lot of times things like dental cleaning and eyeglasses and a gym membership are included in this kind of plan. So I encourage you to download the free report. The charts are in the free report. If you have questions, you definitely can comment below or schedule an appointment. Here is our contact information. The 844 number, schedule an appointment to go over specific costs to you, the plans that are offered in your area, and thanks for watching.